is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, distinguished Majority Leader, thank you for allowing me to have the floor on a matter of personal and collective privilege. Much as I would like to abide by the elders, what my elders had taught me, that, and I quote, silence is the best response to nonsense. I'm constrained to take the floor to set the record straight and correct the prevarications spewed on this very floor by one of our colleagues, namely Senator Rodante Marcoleta.
Diba?
While in his two recent privilege speeches, he mostly referred to this representation as the BRC chairman, in my manifestation today, I will refer to him by his name. Like on many past occasions, I could have effortlessly dismissed Senator Marcoleta's statements as I refuse to dignify his ego-driven provocations.
Ama!
But when the attacks shift from professional to obsessively personal, I must shut the whole political circus down, firmly, completely, and without ambiguity. Dahil gusto din lamang ni Senator Marcoleta na lagi siyang bida bilang dating chairman man ng BRC o sa usaping West Philippine Sea o ano
Kita nyo yun, mga kababayan? Kita nyo yun? Una pa lang. Talagang sapul na.
mang issue involving China o dili kaya ay sa usaping restitution na mag-asawang Diskaya, siya na nga ang tunay na bida sa aking magiging pahayag sa mga sandaling ito ngayong hapon. Memory is short, Mr. President. With that said, and with your indulgence, let me refresh our memory on the historical background of the animosities, or shall I say, why the gentleman from Tarlac and Pampanga, Senator Rodante Marcoleta, has become so obsessed with tagging and bad-mouthing this representation, as he has become obsessed with defending China in many fora, like in the confirmation hearing of 35 senior officers of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, but especially when he interpellated our distinguished colleague from the majority bloc, Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan, when he sponsored and defended Senate Resolution number 37 last February 2. So obsessed that he had to resort to rigorous stalking of all my interviews and social media updates, nitpicking from every statement I uttered, and tricking this august chamber to cry foul, armed with nothing but his draining litany. Since Senator Marcoleta apparently knows every word I say in my media interviews and every move I make in this chamber, napilitan akong balikan ang napakaraming pagkakataon na ako ay naging paksa ng kanyang mga personal na atake. Perhaps, Mr. President, it started when this representation inquired about Senator Marcoleta's hilaw interpretation of Senate rules relative to his motion to dismiss in the impeachment case against Vice President Sara Duterte last year. Thus, on August 6, 2025, I manifested my inquiry regarding Senator Marcoleta's arguments, calling for the dismissal of the impeachment case against Vice President Sara Duterte using Section 135 of the Senate rules. I highlighted that nowhere in our rules can we find a provision on a motion to dismiss, nor is there a supplementary application of the rules of court and other references like the Riddick's Manual, etc., to accommodate such a motion. I merely raised a parliamentary inquiry into how we can deal with the said motion to dismiss an impeachment case, given that we were then constituted as a legislative body in plenary session and not as an impeachment court. It was supposed to be a simple parliamentary inquiry from what I considered then, and I quote, medyo hilaw na interpretation ng ating Honorable Marcoleta, unquote. Ewan ko, Mr. President, simula nang nasopla ko si Senator Marcoleta sa floor, ay tila nagtanim na siya ng poot sa kanyang dibdib. On August 20, 2025, I delivered my first privilege speech entitled Flooded Gates of Corruption, to bring to the attention of the Senate and the Filipino people the syndicated corruption in the implementation of flood control projects. Pinaghirapan ko at ng aking team na buuin ang aming mga findings upang maisa publiko ang mga anomalya sa flood control na makakatulong sana.
Eto mga kababayan, tingnan nyo mabuti ang pinagmulan, ang isa sa tinitingnan dito na pinagmulan ng galit ni Senator Rodante Marcoleta kay Senator Ping Lacson, mga kababayan, una nung nasoplak sa plenary, mga kababayan, plenary session, ito pong si Senator Rodante Marcoleta ni Senator Ping Lacson about po sa usapin ng impeachment, mga kababayan, ito pong si Sara Duterte. Pangalawa naman, mga kababayan, nung nagsiwalat ito pong si Senator Ping Lacson ng anomalya na nangyayari dyan po sa mga flood control, mga kababayan, especially nung ibinulgar ni Senator Ping Lacson yung about po kay Bryce Hernandez at dito po kina Henry Alcantara na kung saan may pinatunguhan yung investigasyon mga kababayan, unlike ng mga panahon na hawak ni Senator Dante Marcoleta yung chairmanship ng Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. Ano po, so ngayon ituloy pa natin.
Sa sinasagawang inquiry in aid of legislation ng Blue Ribbon Committee na noon ay kanya pang pinamumunuan. Ang hindi ko inaasahan. Minasama pa ito ni Senator Marcoleta.
Siyempre mga kababayan, mamasamain talaga ni Marcoleta yan kasi nasapawan siya. Hindi lang basta nasapawan natabunan siya mga kababayan nung nagbulgar ng mga mahalagang impormasyon eto pong si Senator Ping Lacson at yan ay ikinasama ng loob ni Senator Dante Marcoleta. Siguro ang isa ring dahilan dyan mga kababayan, yung inggit na dapat siya ang magsisiwalat noon pero naunahan siya. Ano po mga kababayan?
Sa pamamagitan ng kanyang TV program noong August 29, 2025. Panoorin po natin ang mga portions ng video.
Ayun, isang major committee yung Blue Ribbon. Bawal na yung gagawa ka pa ng sarili mong pagpapahayag. Lalong-lalo na kung doon sa pagpapahayag mo, parang uulitin mo yung mga bagay na dapat sana doon na ihayag doon sa naunang pagtalakay.
Para may sarili kang expose, may sarili kang person.
Oo,
isang major committee.
hindi dapat na ginawa pa yun. Kumbaga, kalabisan na yun. Sa tuntunin kasi, bawal na
Lalo
yun.
na kung doon sa pagpapahayag mo ay parang uulitin mo yung mga bagay na dapat sana ay doon na ihayag sa naunang pagtalakay. Hindi dapat ginawa pa yun. Kumbaga, kalabisan na yun. Sa tuntunin kasi, bawal na yun. Yan ang sinasabi ng isang taong nakasalamin sa hating gabi. Na yung nag-epal siguro. Yun ang pasikat, di ba? Yan ang sinabi niya, Mr. President. Mr. President, tulad ng kanyang motion to dismiss, nag-imbento na naman ng hilaw na rule si Senator Marcoleta.
Yan!
Kahit pagbali-baliktarin natin ang rules of the Senate, walang nagbabawal sa kahit sinong senador na magpahayag sa pamamagitan ng privilege speech kahit tinatalakay nasa komite ang paksa tulad ng flood control. May natapakan po ba akong ego sa aking privilege speech na naglahad sa kauna-unahang pagkakataon ng mga konkretong ghost at substandard flood control projects? May nasagasaan po ba akong pride sa pagpapangalan sa mga sangkot sa anomalya na sina Bryce Hernandez, Henry Alcantara at iba pang personalidad sa kauna-unahang pagkakataon? If yes, I refuse to apologize and feed on Senator Marcoleta's ego and pride. On September 9 last year, after the leadership change and subsequent reorganization of Senate committees, including the Blue Ribbon Committee with me as its chairman, hindi na lalo nakamove on si Senator Marcoleta. I was met with a barrage of undue criticisms by the former chairman, Senator Marcoleta. Much of it characterized by a profound lack of respect for both this representation and the Blue Ribbon Committee. During the 23 September 2025 public hearing of the Blue Ribbon Committee, Senator Marcoleta disrupted the proceedings when he raised what he called a prejudicial question on my impartiality as the chairman, following a media interview where I simply answered a question about which among the source persons, in my opinion, between his favorite Diskaya couple and Bryce Hernandez of the famed BGC Boys appeared more credible. Siguro, nakakalimutan na ni Senator Marcoleta ang cases assigned for reading nung nasa law school pa siya. The Supreme Court in the case of Berbari versus Honorable Pedro Concepcion, GR number 16189, February 26, 1920, the court explained that, and I quote, prejudicial question is understood in law to be that which must precede the criminal action, that which requires a decision before a final judgment is rendered in the principal action with which said question is closely connected. Not all previous questions are prejudicial, although all prejudicial questions are necessarily previous. Hindi ko na nga siya pinatulan sa issue na yon para hindi ma-disrupt ang pagdinig kahit mali-mali dahil sa pagsasalang-alang sa kanya bilang isang abogado na dapat ay alam niyang applicable lamang ang prejudicial question sa mga criminal cases. Well, dapat. He exposed his ignorance as a member of the bar, particularly on the revised rules on criminal procedure, even as he invoked the issue of impartiality at the top of his voice and out of order and decorum. continuously interrupting the chairman and everybody else, while shamelessly appearing to act as counsel for the Diskaya couple, without even disclosing before the committee members that one of his family members was an independent director of insurance companies that provided bonds for contractors owned by the 207 billion peso flood control contractors, Curly and Sarah Diskaya.
Oh.
Being a non-lawyer, Mr. President, I hate lecturing a lawyer, no matter how low he ranks among his fellow members of the bar, if I may borrow the words of former senior Associate Justice, Supreme Court Associate Justice Antonio Carpio. Since he is
Di ba mga kababayan, yun yung isang pinakamasakit na nangyari kay Senator Rodante Marcoleta dito. Abogado siya. Pero nile-lecturean siya ngayon ni Senator Ping Lacson. Di ba? Ito harap-harapan to mga kababayan. Harap-harapan to kay Senator Rodante Marcoleta na sunog. Dito si Senator Rodante Marcoleta. Tusta. Ika nga mga kababayan. Kasi abogado siya eh. Pero pinapangaralan siya ngayon ni Senator Ping Lacson. Di ba? Anyway, tuloy pa natin.
now asking for it, I also thought, as lawmakers, we may as well be educated in this regard. So, let me state for the record the following. Under Rule 111, Prosecution of Civil Action, Section 7 of the Revised Rules on Criminal Procedure, the elements of a prejudicial question are A, the previously instituted civil action involved an issue similar or intimately related to the issue raised in the subsequent criminal action, and B, the resolution of such issue determines whether or not the criminal action may proceed. Kung may napansin ang mga manonood, ito ang naging asal ni Senator Marcoleta, which begged the question, why is Senator Marcoleta so protective of the Diskayas?
Tama.
This inquiry remains valid and grounded.
At saka take note mga kababayan ha, pansin ng taong bayan niya na siya ang may hawak ng chairmanship ng Senate Blue Ribbon Committee noong mga panahon na yon, pero siya rin ang parang nag-aabogado dito po sa mga Diskaya. Pansin ng taong bayan niya at hindi po maitatanggi ni Senator Rodante Marcoleta yan dahil nakita, narinig, nasaksihan niya na mga kababayan Pilipino po natin.
And I can show you from the many occasions he stood for in support of the Diskayas. Let us watch.
Mr. President, maybe ask them to fix this.
May I ask for 1 minute suspension, Mr. President?
Session suspended.
I'm raising prejudicial question. Ang mangyayari nito, so, mas credible si Bryce kaysa Diskaya. Bakit gano'n? Why are so protective? Nagmamadali daw po ako na mabigyan sila ng witness protection program. Yun po yung sinasabi ng batas eh. Pag hiningi nila with their consent, sapagkat nanganganib ang buhay niya, hindi ka magmamadali. Ilalagay ko po ba sa kamay ko ang kaligtasan ng mag-asawa niyo? Kinakailangan magsoli po sila ng mga nakulimbat nila, which to my mind is not correct. Paano mo sasabihin na magre-restitute ang isang tao? Meron na bang findings kung magkano i-restitute on how it can be restituted? Nag-a-apply pa lang eh.
What is the reason behind the law? So that we can get justice, and justice can only be attained if there's restitution. So that is the principle behind all of these things that we are talking about now.
Mr. Secretary, restitution will come after. It cannot be...
Sir, it can come before or after, sir. It can come before.
You said that it come before. Yung Diskaya, to my mind, were the first to apply under the Witness Protection Program. Ang problema po doon, kung wala namang korte pa pong nagsasabi kung talagang sila'y nagnakaw o nakapagnakaw, sino pong magkukwenta noon? Problem is, ang sabi ng dating DOJ Secretary, ba hindi, kinakailangan isoli muna yung mga pinagnanakaw. So, paano ngayon siya magpuprocess if that was dangled? So, ang tinatanong ko nga sa inyo, hindi sa sinungaling. Kayo ang nagbigay na ng kondisyon kasi did you agree that you restitute any money to the DOJ?
Wala po kang maibibigay po. At saka...
Yun na nga, because wala kang maibigay, hindi kanya ipoprocess under the Witness Protection Program. Is that not correct? So pinipili nyo yung gusto nyo i-process. Ngayon, kung ayaw ninyong bigyan sila ng protection under that law, kaya siguro umayaw na sila sa ICI.
Yan na.
Mr. President.
Ito yung isa din sa pinakamasakit dito mga kababayan. Lahat ng sinabi mo, lahat ng nanggaling sa'yo, yun yung ginamit na ebidensya laban sa'yo. Walang lusot dito si Senator Rodante Marcoleta.
It is also coincidental that multiple news outlets revealed a damning link between Senator Marcoleta and the Diskayas. In one news story, a relative of Senator Marcoleta was said to hold a directorship at Stronghold Incorporated and
Nako.
Milestone Guarantee, insurance companies that provided bonds for contractors owned by the flood control king and queen, Curly and Sara Diskaya,
Naku
at the
po.
center of a multi-billion peso flood control corruption scandal, raising conflict of interest questions in a high-profile Senate probe. Hindi pa po dito nagtatapos.
Wala magagawa dito si Senator Dante Marcoleta. Yung tinutukoy dito na malapit kay Senator Dante Marcoleta na may hawak po ng insurance ng o may hawak ang o isa sa talagang kaklose na mga Diskaya, mga kababayan, ay yung asawa po ni Senator Dante Marcoleta. Yun po yung tinutukoy dito. Kasi sabi nga dito, conflict of interest. Marcoleta's wife sit on boards of insurers, stronghold, milestone, guarantee, favor by Diskaya contractors and flood control scam, mga kababayan. So ngayon, kung matatandaan nyo pa nga rin, kaya sinasabi ng mga kababayan Pilipino po natin noon, na bakit masyadong protective etong si Senator Dante Marcoleta sa mag-asawang Diskaya ay dahil nga po dito sa ugnayan po na ito. At kapag gaganyan, mga kababayan, na ikaw ay masyadong protective dun sa taong iniimbestigahan mo, meron niyang conflict of interest. Ano po? Anyway, tuloy pa natin.
Ang pagbibida ni Senator Marcoleta. Noong September 25, 2025, nagpresenta si Senator Marcoleta ng surprise witness sa katauhan ni
Yan.
Mr. Orly Gutesa. As chairman, I did not raise any objection to members like him introducing surprise witnesses during the proceedings at that time, as long as it can help in unearthing the truth behind the flood control mess, including and most importantly, exposing the masterminds if evidence warrants. Gayunpaman, hindi pa man tapos ang araw, pumalag na sa media ang sinasabing nakapirma sa notary public na si Attorney Pechi Espera. Nakalalunan ay naging kasalanan ko pa din sa paningin ni Senator Marcoleta. Hindi po ang Senado ang nag-iimbestiga at nagbigay ng hatol na forged ang notaryo ni Gutesa. Mismong ang Branch 18 ng Regional Trial Court ng Manila ang nag-imbestiga. Independent yun sa Senado. Sa halip na tanggapin, galit pa sa resulta ng kaso dahil hindi naaayon sa gusto niyang kalalabasan ng investigasyon. Asal bida talaga. Ang matindi pa, nanakot pa na magsasampa ng kaso laban sa judge at abogado. Again, style bida. Pa-victim effect pa po masyado na parang bida sa pelikula. Mr. President, ang kwento pa, ako daw ang nagpapahiwatig na tinuturuan o kinocoach niya si Gutesa sa bahagi ito ng pagdinig. Mr. President, sa obserbasyon ng napakaraming nanonood, tila baga tinuturuan niya kung anong pahina. Page 20 nga daw ang basahin. Sa kamalasan niya, nagkataon na putol pala ang kopya ng affidavit ni Gutesa. Kung todo, tinayuan pa niya para ibigay ang kanyang kopya na parang bida sa eksena. Nakalimutan yata ni Senator Marcoleta na naka-live TV coverage ang pagdinig. Kaya walang pakundangan at walang kahihiyan sa inasal niya. Kaya nga kitang-kita, pati si Henry Alcantara tawang-tawa. Nakalimot din sandali na hindi pa siya state witness nung nag-testify si Gutesa. Let us watch the actual video dahil baka sabihin na naman niya nag-splice kami ng video. Let's watch.
Nasabing basura. Ito,
Merong napuputol sa binabasa mo eh. Huwag kang magmadali. Huwag kang magmadali.
naputol na.
Ulitin mo yung paragraph 20.
Ano?
Wala na akong hindi ko makita na.
May nanonood ba dyan ng mga DD-set? Ako may nanonood dyan. Pagtanggol yung si Marcoleta ngayon. Surug na surug si Senator Dante Marcoleta dito. Lahat ng ipinakitang ebidensya galing po sa bibig niya mismo at sa naging aksyon niya sa mga nakaraang pagdinig, mga kababayan. O sino ngayon na nagsisinungaling? At sino ngayon na nagsasabi ng katotohanan? Yung may resibo o wala? Siyempre, ang nagsasabi ng katotohanan dyan yung may resibo at ang nagsisinungaling ay yung nag-aakusa na wala namang ebidensya. Ano po? So ngayon, ituloy pa natin.
Putol na siya.
I strongly deny that I made mention of him coaching Gutesa, Mr. President. Ulitin ko sakaling hindi pa rin talaga magets. Tinanggap pa rin ng komite ang sinumpang salaysay ni Gutesa bilang valid at bahagi ng record dahil sa katotohanan siya ay personal na humarap at nagpatunay under oath ng nilalaman ng kanyang affidavit. Ang masama, Mr. President, tinanggap naman natin sa record ang testimonya ni Mr. Gutesa. Hindi pa rin tumitigil sa kakareklamo si Senator Marcoleta. Mr. President, ang tunay na issue hindi ang forged na affidavit kundi ang biglaang pagtatago at pagkawala ni Gutesa. For the information of this body, Mr. Gutesa, who was presented as a witness by Senator Marcoleta, has been unavailable since his initial appearance. Moreover, the committee made the option for Senate protection available to him, but he declined, as evidenced by his signed waiver. And we are dutiful in locating him, Mr. President. Pinuntahan namin ang lahat ng addresses para mayabot ang imbitasyon ng komite, and even rigorously visited our CCTV camera footage. Again, displaying his obsessiveness for the nth time, Senator Marcoleta even lambasted me by implying that I was surveilling his office. Galit na galit. Samantalang nais lamang nating matukoy kung sakaling may kasama si Mr. Gutesa nang dumating sa Senado upang sa gayon ay magkaroon tayo ng lead kung paano siya muling maimbita sa susunod na pagdinig. Hindi ko na nga pinalaki ang aking mga obserbasyon sa paksang ito, Mr. President. Sa halip, sinubukan pa rin naming hingin ang kanyang tulong sa paghahanap kay Sergeant Gutesa. Again, Senator Marcoleta in his TV show ranted against me. Let's watch.
Tatanungin ko siya, bakit mo kinur sa akin ito? Iniinsulto mo ba ako? Parang insulto naman sa akin yun. Ba't mo ikukor sa akin? Sino ka ba?
I dare ask, Mr. President, if a committee member brings a witness bearing such damaging allegations, does the burden of transparency not follow? Is it not just proper to cooperate with the committee regarding his whereabouts? Why then does Senator Marcoleta find my position so offensive? On many occasions, Senator Marcoleta made statements that undermined the authority and collective integrity of the committee. Mukhang aabutin tayo hanggang bukas kung iisa-isahin ko pa lahat ang katakot-takot na pag-alipusta ni Senator Marcoleta sa komite na kinabibilangan din naman niya. He continued the same litany in his speech yesterday, Mr. President. Let me count and rebut it once and for all. 1. On the release of the minority report. Tahasang pinagmamalaki ni Senator Marcoleta ang minority report for the lack of better term, he said, na kanyang nilabas noong December 10, 2025, na siya ring naging paksa ng kanyang litanya kahapon. For his information, I wish to underscore a part of Section 22 of the Senate Rules shown on the screen, which states that, and I quote, concurring and dissenting reports may likewise be made by the members who do not sign the majority report within 72 hours from the approval of the report. Napakalinaw naman po, Mr. President. Concurring and dissenting reports may be made 72 hours after the committee report has been approved by the majority vote of all its members. Siya na nga itong gawa ng mga bagay na wala naman sa alituntunin ng Senado. Pagkatapos,
nawala ba ang signal natin? Kanina, wait lang, balik ko ng konti. Kasi nawala yung signal natin eh. Yan. Balik ko lang ng konti.
approval of the report. Napakalinaw naman po, Mr. President. Concurring and dissenting reports may be made 72 hours after the committee report has been approved by the majority vote of all its members. Siya na nga itong gawa ng mga bagay na wala naman sa alituntunin ng Senado. Pagkatapos, ako ang pagbibintangan niya na epal. He even had the audacity to declare, and I quote his speech, a submission anchored on the same hearings, 3 of which he actually presided, the same resource persons, and the same affidavits. Masasabi ba niyang pangbasura lang din ang lahat ng yun? At this point, Senator Marcoleta must know that rhetorical fallacies do not amuse me, Mr. President. If the release of this so-called minority report and its contents did not amount to a direct affront to the chairman and to the committee as a collegial body, then I'm not sure what is. May I also emphasize, Mr. President, that this same report brazenly stated that, and I quote, the BRC, Blue Ribbon Committee, cannot and should no longer compete with the National Prosecution Services and eventually the judiciary in finally disposing of these cases, unquote. Clearly implying that the committee must conclude its proceedings. Mr. President.
Alam niya, sa totoo lang mga kababayan dyan talaga sablay, si Marcoleta nung nagpauto siya kay Senator Amy Marcos na maglabas sila mga kababayan ng minority report kasi ang dating talaga dyan binastos nila yung mismong komite ng Senate Blue Ribbon Committee kasi yun yung nag-iimbestiga. Pero sila mga kababayan, meron na agad resulta yung investigasyon po mga kababayan na ginawa po nila. May sarili po silang report na inilabas. So yan talagang ginawang yan ni Senator Dante Marcoleta, pambabastos po talaga yan. Tahasang pambabastos sa investigasyon ng Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. Anyway, tuloy pa natin.
Sino ba siya para pangunahan ang chairman at ang mayorya na miyembro ng committee? Wala sa lugar, wala sa hulog. Saganang akin lang din naman, gulat-gulat po ba ang naging reaksyon ng representasyon na ito na walang lugar ang ulat na yan kundi sa basurahan? Kayo na ang humusga, Mr. President. Number 2, let us go to the BRC draft partial committee report. na pinamahagi ng komite noon pang ika-11 ng Pebrero nitong taon. Na sa mismong araw na ito ay isang buwan na ang nakakalipas. Na siyempre ay laman din ng only reklamo ni Senator Marcoleta. Anya, ang natanggap ng kanyang opisina ay isang PDF file or document na may watermark ng bawat opisina na nakatanggap nito na wala man lang daw pirma ng chairman ng komite. Natural, walang pirma dahil advance copies lang naman ang pinadala namin sa opisina ng lahat ng members. Common sense naman po, Mr. President, na binigyan ng soft copy ang bawat miyembro upang madaling mabasa at mapag-aralan ng ang lahat ng nilalaman nito simultaneously. Properly informed naman po ang mga staff ng mga senador na available mula sa aming opisina ang pisikal na kopya na lagpas 400 pages ng committee report upang mapirmahan sa hudyat ng mga ginagalang ng miyembro ng komite. Ang ating inisyatibo upang pabilisin ang tamang proseso ay talagang masama pa rin sa paningin ni Senator Marcoleta. Tulad ng ginagawa din naman ng ibang miyembro ng komite, panay din ang follow-up namin sa kanyang opisina na kung nais na ba niyang pumirma sa printed copy ng report kahit ay dissent remark ay wala siyang ginawa. Bakit ngayon ay maghahanap siya ng Blue Ribbon Committee report na nakatenga sa kanyang opisina nung isang buwan pa? Incidentally, as of yesterday, only Senator Bam Aquino has affixed his signature on the partial committee report. It goes without saying that I respect each and every member's decision when they will sign the report, if at all. What I despise is Senator Marcoleta's audacity to lie about his inability to sign the same by citing an untruthful reason for not signing, Mr. President. Number 3, pinipilit niya rin na ilabas ko ang listahan ng 67 contractors. He said in his speech, and I quote, in his press release dated August 10, 2025, posted on the Senate website, the BRC chairman disclosed that House members called him and that he had a list of 67 congressmen who are contractors. Yet, he did not summon them to any BRC hearing. Why did he not name them to be fair to the rest of the members of the House of Representatives? Ito po ang tunay na splice, Mr. President. Kung babasahin lang po ni Ginoong Marcoleta ang susunod na sentence, malinaw na malinaw po, eto. And I'd like to paraphrase. Lacson clarified that he merely asked a congressman friend from the lower house and that, again I quote, I chuckled and said, I don't have a list. Ulitin ko po, noon at hanggang ngayon, kahit ipagpilitan at splice ng kung sino, wala akong listahan at wala akong sinasabing may hawak akong listahan ng mga tinuguroang contractors.
Tama.
Wala akong pangalan. Alam mo yung 67 na contractors na naging congressmen or yung congressmen contractors, nakuha ko yan sa isang member ng House noong kasisimula pa lamang ng 19th Congress 2022.
Number 4, madin din po ang pag-question ni Senator Marcoleta sa interparliamentary courtesy. He said, and I quote, this doctrine, Mr. President, which is not even part of our rules, is not absolute. And then he added, if anything, those who occupy the highest offices in the government must be the first to answer, not the last to be asked, unquote. Senator Marcoleta even mentioned, again, and I quote, the members of Congress have no immunity from investigation, subpoena, or public scrutiny, unquote. Mr. President, hypothetically, if the House of Representatives initiates an investigation on Senator Marcoleta's statements of contributions and expenditures or SOSE over an alleged discrepancy, would the Honorable Senator stand by his position to disregard interparliamentary courtesy? If his former colleagues were to issue a subpoena, a show cause order, or even a warrant of arrest, would he still argue about the relevance of interparliamentary courtesy? Ito po ang tunay na hypothetical question, Mr. President.
Yan.
Lest we forget, dalawang
Nga naman mga kababayan, halimbawa nagsagawa ang Kamara ng investigasyon patungkol po dito sa SOSE ni Senator Dante Marcoleta at ipinatawag siya. Pupunta kaya siya sa Kamara? A-attend kaya siya doon? Haharapin niya kaya yon mga kababayan? O yan, yan ang dapat itinatanong talaga kay Senator Dante Marcoleta para matauhan. Kasi total naman ipinipilit niya mga kababayan na dapat yung mga taga-Kamara na gusto nilang imbestigahan, anytime na pwede po nilang ipatawag, ipapatawag nila ng ganun-ganun na lang. Eh di ba kung matatandaan nyo nga, doon sa investigasyon ng Quadcom, kahit ilang beses na ipinapatawag, eto pong si Senator Bato de la Rosa, ang ginagawa ni Bato, nagtatago siya sa salitang parliamentary courtesy mga kababayan. Di po ba?